Mhm.
Let's see. We'll wait for some people to come in.
Oh, wow. Okay.
What is this TP thing up here?
I see us on our on the live.
Yeah, me
Oh,
too.
wow. Okay, cool. Yo, Michael. Hey, Michael. Hey, Tatiana.
Hello.
I have to do that. I have to add your that's what I have to remember to add your YouTube channels to the description box. Mm, 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 mm.
All right. Oh, how about I close that so there's no
Unfortunately,
residue?
Amalula can't make it.
Oh,
Yeah, she's got a baby shower, I think.
gotcha.
She said.
Gotcha.
So what should we do? Should we just get it
Yeah,
or should we
I say we go ahead and get started.
Okay, let's get started. Okay, so we're here to discuss The Three Musketeers by Alexandre Dumas. This was quite a chunker, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. This is a great addition.
Yeah.
So if you haven't read it, we highly recommend this one, which is the Penguin Classics Deluxe Edition. Hey, Cynthia, welcome. Thanks
Cynthia.
for coming. So yeah, so um how did y'all feel about reading this? I mean, we read, what was it, the Count of Monte Cristo? We did that like what, 3 years ago, I think it was.
Mm.
Was it
So
3?
3 or 4 years ago, I think it
It's
was.
been that. It doesn't feel. Oh well, yeah. It was pre-panty. It doesn't feel
Girl,
like it's been that
gimmick,
long.
okay?
Yeah. It like
So
the
how do
last
you,
2 years
are you,
just don't fucking exist.
they just don't. I mean, so how do you feel about the Three Musketeers? Did you enjoy it? Or how do you feel about it?
It's I enjoyed it. It's very different from the Count of Monte Cristo, very different from the Black Tulip. What I'm enjoying the most about reading Dumas for the first time over these however many years it takes me to get through his stuff. Hi, Alicia.
Hey, Alicia.
Um, is how different his writing style is. Like the thing that drew me to him was that he has a thing for people in the for dudes in the clink. I was like, yes, this is
Mhm.
my kind of thing, and
Yes.
that's not a thing in here. And
No,
so like there's
this is
there's
great.
there's a small interlude of somebody being in the clink, but they go in knowing that they're going to get out. Like so there's no foreboding or pressure or fear
Yeah.
um that you have with the main characters in the story. I was also not expecting for did I say I loved it? Let's rewind. Did I say I loved it?
No, you didn't say that yet.
No,
Okay.
no.
I loved it.
Okay, good. Good. I'm glad.
I was not expecting the three because it's called the Three Musketeers. So I wasn't expecting the Three Musketeers not to feature for the entirety of the
Mm.
story in some way, shape, or form. I was not prepared for Milady.
Yeah, my
I,
lady,
I
but she
wasn't I wasn't I wasn't prepared for that. And so then I had to, as I was reading, I had to think about because at first I was like, well, she wasn't really set up to be by the time we get to her captivity chapters. I was like, she
yeah,
wasn't really set up to be a villain. But then as I thought back over the duration of our interactions with her in the story, she was perfectly set up to
yeah, yeah,
be
yeah. She
she was
was.
perfectly set up to be the villain. I was just so focused on Porthos, and I know I'm saying them wrong. Porthos, Athos, and Artemis. That's the
Arthos,
only one that I have right.
Amis, yeah, Amis, Portos, Arthos,
Yeah,
and
I was focused on the three of
D'Artagnan.
them and their relationship with D'Artagnan. D'Artagnan.
D'Artagnan, yes.
So in reframing my thoughts
Yeah.
as I was reading it to that was it was unexpected, but it was also fun. It didn't take away from the reading experience because
Yeah.
it was fun. How about
Okay,
y'all?
so how did you feel about it, Michael?
I liked it. I think I would say I like the Count better, but it's just so different. It's
Yeah.
really different. And um this has a sequel, right?
Yeah,
It has
it's
2 sequels.
isn't it The Man in the Iron Mask?
The Man in the Iron Mask and well, between this and The Man in the Iron Mask is 20 years after. It's not 20 years later, it's 20 years after, I think.
Okay.
Mm.
Did you read
But
that
The
one?
Man in the Iron Mask was written before 20 years after.
Okay, so you haven't read either one of those though.
No.
Okay.
And I will probably read The Man in the Iron Mask next instead of 20 years
Yeah,
after
I
because I
would
know
too.
that they were written close together.
Okay, go ahead, Michael. Finish what you were saying.
Oh yeah. Overall I liked it. I don't know what it is, but there's something I I will give it 5 stars, but for me I think it's like more of a 4.5. But I liked it.
Yeah, it's a
I really
4 for
liked
me.
it.
It's a
Oh,
4 for me for sure.
Yeah,
If there ain't no
it's a
point
solid
5,
4.
maybe 4 point no, then it's 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
Either you
I'm in the
there
middle.
or you not. That's
Yeah, it's
that's for
4.
me. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Count
really
was
enjoyed
5.
it. Oh yeah, the count was 5 for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hands down. I mean I enjoyed it quite a bit. I really wasn't prepared for how much I was gonna laugh. It's
Mm,
it's hysterical in places. Um, but what I did enjoy is how they quickly moved us away from the humor, and it seems like it really at that midway point was where we took a turn. Like we took it like whoop, we took a turn, and suddenly it was like, oh shit, this is serious, you know. And then we have all of the confrontation things that they're going through, but of course, the constant common denominator is that the Musketeers are sticking together, and that's what is I think is really great about it. It's like the ultimate friendship story. How many stories have we really read where the friends really stay friends no matter what?
From
mm.
start
Girl,
from
that
the
ain't that
from
many, okay?
before the beginning because
Exactly.
Porthos, Army, and Athos are friends before we get like they are well known, well established as friends in the community before we get to this.
Yeah, I really wasn't ready for the laughing, and I really wasn't ready for the seriousness. Now let's get back to Michael. Wait, no, it was Michael who mentioned um no, Townie, you meant the antagonist being Milady,
Milady.
Mhm.
but
It's almost like, it's almost
but
like a kind of like a switcheroo because you kinda think it is, um, the Cardinal.
yeah, Cardinal
Yeah.
Richelieu. I was about to
Yeah,
ask
you
you which one did you feel was more of the bad guy, Richelieu or Milady?
Milady.
Milady, because Richelieu didn't do anything outright to kill people.
No, he didn't.
But he was willing to
He
he
was
schemed, but his schemes he was like, if you watch cartoons, Richelieu came across to me as Doofenshmirtz from Phineas and Ferb.
okay.
Um, and Milady came across as oh my gosh, the bully that in Phineas and Ferb that why am I spacing on the
I've
bully's
never
name?
watched.
Oh
I
my
watch it
gosh,
with my
you've never
kids
watched Phineas
all
and
the
Ferb?
time. Yeah,
The
I watch it with my
Yeah,
girls.
the bully when he links up with Doofenshmirtz for one episode and his scheme actually comes to fruition.
Mhm.
Like that's the difference between that I could see between Richelieu. Like Richelieu had all of these ideas and thoughts, but he also kept getting like
He's
with things that
also
he orchestrated
yeah,
were
he's kind of the one who pushes this through, but he makes sure that he has no
No hand.
real hand that
Hmm.
anybody can
Can
pinpoint.
trace back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that's also
So
what you have
maybe
to
he's more
realize.
cunning.
Huh?
He's the more cunning of the two.
Yeah.
But
Well,
my lady gave no fucks. Like
no, she's
told
crazy.
she was
She's
totally
crazy.
fine with being the front person.
Yeah, I feel like, but I think Richelieu is always portrayed this way in a lot of books. As
Mm.
Mm.
because you have to realize that this period in France, the church has quite the grip on the country, and it has quite a
That was
grip on the
also
royalties.
another yeah, that was also another very interesting thing how so many of this like not it's not set up the way that you would think because I haven't read a lot of books that are focusing on members of the clergy. You
Yeah.
don't expect the cardinal to have his own guards. Like he's got his own
Oh,
army.
yeah.
He's got
At
his own
this
fucking
time,
army.
yeah,
Like why uh, okay.
yeah. At this time, yes. Yes.
Why do you need and I also now I wanna read some other books. Number 1, I want to look more because I was thinking about Christina as I was reading this and not wanting to be the person who goes to someone that they know is a wealth of knowledge about something and message her to ask her questions about things that I was coming across that were like actual historical events that happened during that time that were mentioned in the book and how they
Yeah.
played into that's something that I really am looking forward to researching
Because
after
you
now
have
that
to
I finished
realize, I don't know if you know this, but Dumas, alongside another guy called Mackay, they found this book which is called Mémoires de Danton, and it's by a guy called Gatien de Coritz de Sandras. And
Yeah.
he had written
all of
this
that
book,
French.
which was a whole memoir on this character called D'Artagnan, but it's not a character, he was a real person. So it has
Oh,
real
Mm.
historical value what he based the story, The Three Musketeers, on.
okay.
But he also didn't wanna make himself look like he was plagiarizing.
Mm.
So yeah, because, like, he found a whole book like, "Oh, let me write a story," you know? So, this is considered, he considered this it is technically based on truth. Yeah. So, that's the historical side. Now, I don't know, were you guys reading the footnotes in the back? Y'all doing the footnotes?
No, I don't do that. I read and then I go back.
I did look at some of them, but not all of them. But one thing is really good about this book, which I appreciate, I wish I would have tracked, was all the different places they go to. Let
Mm.
me tell you, they done done the entire freaking country in
The
this book.
whole yeah, that's
Whole
the
ass country.
in the telling of and I love travel stories. Like I love
Yeah,
stories that are set on a journey. So having the like when they first set out and it's the four of them to get D'Artagnan to England so that he can get the pendants for the queen. That
mhm,
entire excursion and everything that
yeah.
happens along the way
Not
was
speaking
so
English, going up there, and yeah, it was
yeah.
good. Mm,
I
yeah,
at
That
one
that
point, it's just like one of those things where you accept that they're just gonna fast travel. They're just gonna get there. Like,
yeah, and everything
and
is
to
on
have like
horseback.
all
it's
of
like
the
that.
horses one and that's another thing that I really appreciated because a lot of times when you have fantasy novels that are written now like you have these infatigable horses that just take them and they actually have make a point Dumas makes a point of sharing the exchange of the horses because they can
Yeah.
only travel so fast for so long with you on their back and all of your armor so
Mhm.
I like that.
So speaking of horses, when the story starts, we see D'Artagnan has this funky little
On a golden gelding.
golden yellow horse. What do you think his yellow horse is a symbol of? Or what is it? What was that all about?
It's just
I don't
probably
know.
like maybe like gold, like probably something like childlike compared to the other ones, like the brown ones and
Yeah, I felt it
the
was
black
something
one.
like it was showing his youth and his naivete and his the fact that he's green. He's got to get in there
Mhm.
and learn.
1000%.
Yeah,
And then
he's
this horse also makes him the center of attention
absolutely that too.
when he gets to France. It makes
Yes,
him the center of attention because it stands out
yeah,
among everything else. I didn't think about the significance of the color outside
yeah.
of
I
it
feel
makes
like
him
there is a symbolism there because it is something that kind of sticks out to us in the beginning.
Mhm.
That he arrives on this yellow, kind of horse,
and
which
I've
is really
never
strange.
seen a yellow horse. So now I'm
No, but that's what's
like
really funny about it because you're imagining. I don't know about you, but when the musketeers would ride up on their horses, in my mind, I'm thinking sleek black, dark brown, completely groomed and everything. And then in the beginning, when you see him riding up on this little yellow horse, you think, "What is this?" Or is
and
this
also that he
what?
doesn't get to be a musketeer until because some of the things that I looked at said that there aren't three musketeers, there are four, but he doesn't get promoted to being a
It's not
musketeer
till like
until
much
almost the
later.
end of the book.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And they don't mention them as 4
Right.
Musketeers until, like, literally the end. I think I
The
even
It's
end.
saw the date.
big.
It was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, they say 4 Musketeers here. That's really cute." That was somewhere at the, like, towards
It's
the
really
end.
towards the end when he
Yeah.
gets his, his
It's
last, like,
promotion.
yeah, his promotion.
It's
Did
before we
anyone
go
has
back to
anyone
the
watched
ladies, 'cause I
any
was
adaptation?
the
I've seen
adaptation
the
I watched
old
was
one.
so long ago, and it was
Yeah,
old, old. Not like
I watched
because
the
I
old one,
mentioned
but
it.
that's it.
Someone mentioned the one about Chris O'Donnell. I haven't even seen that one.
Mm,
Oh,
I haven't
yeah,
watched any.
page
Yeah.
662 is where they mention them as 4 Musketeers at the bottom. And it says, "3 days later, 4 Musketeers re-entered Paris." I like that.
And like the way, like do you see how much? You can't see how much I'm flipping. This is the next chapter is conclusion.
Yeah, it's at the very
That
end.
is the next chapter.
Yeah, it's the very end when they
And
mention
please
it.
don't think that there's so much reading to do because there's a huge section for notes and indices. Like
Yeah, it's not that bad. Yeah, it's
no,
not
no,
that
no, no. I'm just saying this is all that's left
yeah,
after they're introduced as four musketeers. So
yeah,
for the bulk of the story, there are three musketeers and
yeah,
D'Artagnan,
yeah.
four friends.
But don't you how when, Richelieu gives, D'Artagnan's, the paper that says he can become a lieutenant,
Uh,
and then he goes to each one of the musketeers and go,
I
"Oh,
love that.
yeah,
I
do you wanna
love
be a
that.
lieutenant?" And he was, "I won't be no damn lieutenant."
Right.
We're
They
all
was like,
like,
I don't want this shit. Oh, I'm good. I'm
"No, I'm
good.
good. I don't need that," and I thought it was really good how they, like, "No, you deserve this. You did it's yours. You're gonna be the lieutenant," and then he winds up writing his name on it. That's when I was like, "That's like,
Does
this is."
he write his name? He doesn't write his name.
No, it's somebody else
That
who writes his name on there.
yeah, Athos writes his name because he goes to Athos first, then Porthos, then Army, and then he
Yeah,
comes back to Athos's house, and Athos was like, "Give me
yeah,
the fucking paper and fill
yeah. It's you. You gotta do it.
it."
But I thought that was he actually went and asked each one of them, like, he felt like he owed it to them, and I thought,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Wow, this is the ultimate friendship story
yeah.
for me."
And the fact that they like let's talk about their meet cute.
Let's talk
They're
about their
what?
what?
Their meet cute. How
Oh,
they like how they like the
oh,
fact that this in the entirety of this friendship was brought about by the fact that all three ended up being challenged in a duel 3
yeah,
hours, like an hour apart for each one
3
by Darcy.
duels and yeah, getting mad at 3 people and saying, "Oh, meet me behind the bank, meet me behind the this," "Imma meet you over there." Yeah. I think it's funny. But, I mean, they're always trying to get somebody,
Mhm.
like, they're
Mhm.
not like, I think the best scene is when they are having the meal and they're looking out to see when the soldiers come,
That
and they're having the
Yeah,
meal,
that
and they're
whole
look
chapter sections is so good.
and
that
when
part
he
was
goes
so
up to get the
hilarious.
flag,
Yeah, the flag was a
when they're at
napkin,
war and they've, like, taken over this inn, I was gonna say diner, this
and
inn,
the flag is a napkin, for God's sake.
and he literally risks his life to go and get
Off
this
the
fucking
pole to get
flag
the
off and
mansion.
take the flag, and then stays up there like, I got it,
Yeah, and get shot at and never
and
no
never get
bullets hit
hit.
him. No
I
bullets
was
hit
like,
him.
y'all some 18 shooters
I just thought
on the
that
other
was the
side.
funniest part of the book because while they're doing all this, they're eating and they're drinking their good wine and they're eating. It's very French. I think it's funny. It's
Yeah.
just funny.
The part where he took the body and used it to shield him, I said, that's
Yes, that was
that.
really good. Yeah, they took the four bodies.
That's
And they're
the
like,
most. That's the most like bouted situation outside of him trying to run and catch the man from Maine. Myung, say that. I don't.
Mhm.
yeah,
Every
yeah,
time he sees him, like I'm like, can you calm down? Like every single time he sees him, all other reason exits out of his brain, and he just has
yeah,
to go chase this man down who ain't thinking nothing about you. And then come to find out, it's Richelieu's henchman.
yeah, yeah. Richelieu is a hot mess. Let me tell you, he's like,
Yeah, and I like because I like revenge stories.
Mm.
The whole like the conniving that happens is from the most quiet. Okay, there's so much that I like. Okay, the revenge that happens and the plotting that happens comes from the quietest of
mhm,
the Musketeers, who is Athos, and then he
mhm.
seems to be the oldest
Yeah, he's
of
the
the
oldest. Yeah,
Musketeers. And then I adore the relationship that he and D'Artagnan have with each other.
yeah,
Like that level of you gonna tell me this information, and I don't care if we are hanging out with our boys
yeah,
and we talk about shit. If you don't say it,
yeah.
I'm not saying it.
I'm not saying it. Exactly. See,
That's
that's why I
it.
feel like this is really the ultimate friendship novel. I mean, if there's any theme going on here, it's how to be a good damn friend. If you
Yeah.
don't know how to be a good friend, read this book and you'll figure out how to
Yeah.
be a good friend because they accept him as if though he was one of them
All
right from the
along.
beginning. Like even when he was trying to get a fight with him, they literally trusted him, accepted him for who he was, where he came from, because he's not from any kind of royal
Mhm.
blood or anything in between. He's like from a very simple country family, and which comes up
A lot.
regularly.
Yeah.
This in the story, this idea that he's not, from a rich family, and so that also tells us how good of friends they are with D'Artagnan, and they trust him. So Alba just said maybe I should have read this with you all. I missed all the funny parts. Oh, Alba. Um,
in in the opposite term of like with that so many funny parts, I think the most tense part is towards the end when it's Milady and Madame Bonacieux and they
Mhm.
are and you
nice.
could just see the gears running through her head.
Yeah,
And I was
That
like, this
yeah,
is
because
wild.
when
yeah,
I
because
tell
we're
y'all,
like we're at the verge of going, oh my God.
I was
Because
so sick of this bitch. I was
Yeah,
so sick. Like, and that's how good of a villain she was. The 5 chapters of her captivity and her like I would love to see, and maybe
manipulative
this is why I
bitch.
need to watch an updated adaptation, because I
Mm,
would love to see who they got to play as this woman who is so beautiful, so
yeah,
beguiling,
and
that without
so
even hearing, and so
manipulative.
like she knows who she's young. She's in her 20s just like
Yeah.
D'Artagnan.
mm,
So I want a story about Milady.
well, the
Where did
thing
you get all of this like information and education from, not just about France and England, but about the differences of religion, about the Puritan religion, Protestant religion, which were the two factions that were like at each other's throats during this time period, and that you know so much about what's precious to each one, so that you can play on Bonacieux, you can
Yeah.
play on the
You saw how she played on
Catholicism. That was
Felton?
the other one.
You saw how she
Felton
played
to
Felton?
play Felton, like
Like a
you are
fiddle.
in your 20s. What in the
Well,
Black
she
Widow
had
have you been
experience.
fucking doing?
She had experience because that's when I was like, well, she's really good with Felton. But then in the end, she comes to find out that she did the exact same thing a
She
few years
right.
ago, and I
She
was
did
like,
the
Yeah.
exact same
Well,
thing to
she had
Athos.
4
She did the exact
aliases.
same thing to her, the person who, because I have in my notes, how did she survive Athos's hanging?
She had
Like,
4
because
aliases, this
Athos talks
woman.
about his wife before you know that it's
mm,
Milady. He talks about the fact that she was hanged. So how did
Yeah.
she escape her hanging? Because she charmed the fucking executioner.
Yeah,
And then
there's a
so
whole
you had
page that
so
tells you all the stuff that she did,
then
and you're just like,
then come to find out the executioner is the man, and I was like,
"It's the man." Yeah.
that's why Athos, like D'Artagnan up to this point, because if you watch The Man in the Iron Mask as a movie, which is the only iteration of that story that I had before I reread The Three Musketeers, D'Artagnan is put forth as the most important character, as the most influential character. It's
Mm,
Athos.
yeah.
mm,
It's Athos. And I
Yeah.
love that he is a fucking sleeper in this
Yeah,
movie.
he's
The
sort of like
entire
the
and he just goes and he's like, I'm gonna get you this, I'm gonna get this, I'm gonna get this, and I'm gonna fuck you up. I love it.
and he happens to be the one that was married to her before, which is like that we
Okay.
mm.
find yeah, we find that like sort of like in the middle of the book, sort of, and we're just sort of like,
Yeah. Because then
"Whoa,
when he was talking about when he told that
that's
story,
my ex-wife."
yeah, when
What?
he told that story, and I was like, oh, this must have. I mean, it's obvious to the reader that this happened to
Yeah,
you, but I think the twist on it was that it was Milady, and I was like,
yeah.
Right,
I was like,
I was like,
"What? Is
right.
she what? Your
I
And
was
ex?"
like,
I'm
this is
I'm reading his story and I'm like, oh, this is what like other authors when they have these characters like Sherilyn Kenyon's Dark Hunter series where there's these men who have been deeply wronged by their women and they've been wronged unto death and they have this whole vengeance pick that this is how these things start
Yeah.
with Athos's wife and then to find out that it's Milady and there's much more to her treachery
Look,
than what we
everybody's
got with
saying
Athos.
how she manipulated the poor guard Felton. And then Alicia said, I hated how she did Felton.
And he's gonna die. Like
Yeah.
he murdered the cardinal.
Yeah.
He's going to die, and he literally
Yeah.
you. What, dudes?
Yeah.
All of
It
this
was,
happened with no
he was
snatch and
going
shit.
down, and you
I
could
need
tell
to
right
I,
from the
I need
beginning.
to put that out there. Like no goodies were exchanged.
You could tell
The
right from
the
the beginning he was going down Felton, like
yes
hard, like plumb. You could tell.
yes. And I'm just like, sir,
Yeah.
sir.
But I think we talked about this really briefly. You were saying how you felt like that part of the book was the slowest, was when she was
mm,
incarcerated those 5 days or whatever it was. I feel like that was kind of a downtime because I think the flow of the novel changed suddenly. Because
Very
before
good.
we always had this, there's a lot of movement going on. Either they were moving from one place to the other, or there was some kind of comic relief at some point, or there was some new, how do you say, obstacle to get over or something. And there all of a sudden it was like the book became
We were
slightly,
incarcerated. We were in
we were
jail with
incarcerated with
Milady.
her.
We
Yeah.
were in
We were
yeah, that's
incarcerated with the bitch.
we
Okay.
yes, yes.
So I agree with you. It
what
the flow was different.
I think what would have helped it is maybe if he would have he could have switched some of the chapters around because it's technically happening at the same time
Yeah.
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
they all meet up towards when they when they get
But I
to the
Yeah.
like
nunnery. But
when
I think
I like go ahead, Michael. Sorry,
but I
sorry.
think that with that whole long chapter of her just in jail and then when she escapes and then I think when she says, "Oh yeah, she ends up at the nun." I was like, "Oh." Then it kind of like clicks in your
Yeah.
head as a from the storytelling perspective. I was like,
Right.
Yeah.
"Oh, okay."
Yeah. It's
But
it's
then also
clever how it's done,
Mhm.
mhm,
but I agree with Tatiana
Yeah.
when she said there's something with the flow of the novel. Those 4 days incarcerated with
five,
Constance was
five,
sorry, four,
five.
five, sorry, five with Milady was a little long, I think.
Yeah. And
Wasn't what we expected.
shit.
What?
Oh, I enjoyed though when we do get it's like as soon as she gets out of jail, it's or out of the house because she's like a prisoner, but she's not in jail. As soon as she gets out of the house, there's so much more. Like everything else in the story picks back up. That's what made
Oh
me
yeah, it
say,
goes
if we were
really fast.
incarcerated, because I enjoyed Rochelle. Is it Rochelle? His Richelieu's
Oh sure.
henchman?
Hmm.
Rochelle. Fuck. Finding getting the letter and then dropping it,
Oh
and
yeah,
D'Artagnan
yeah.
being the one, like, and how quickly that moved, and then it's like so much is starting to happen, and at this same time, Athos has disappeared because he's going to go find this, this person and this person to pull together to get this bitch. And who did he talk to get her execution order?
You
I
what?
don't know.
He got it to get her execution order. Who did he talk to? Did I miss that?
No, I don't think you missed that because I think when
Or did he still have the one from years before when that bitch was supposed to be
I feel
executed?
like no, I feel like it together, all of them.
Okay.
Because if you remember at the end, when I think it's Richelieu says something like, "Well, you should have brought her in to court or whatever."
Hmm.
On what authority did you all decide that she should be
Executed.
executed? And they were like, all of us decided.
Right.
We all got together, we voted, and she
And
had to,
what?
and that was it.
We
And so the
decided
lesson,
we did it.
yeah. So I feel like they didn't get any real authority,
Was that
but
like a real thing that they did back
the
then?
executioner
No,
felt
but
like
he
he had
had a
authority.
letter. He had a letter that because the man in the red cloak said no. And he had a letter that he gave to the man, and that like the man in the red cloak reading that letter is what allows him to say, "Okay, I got
It's
you."
like an old charge.
Yeah,
It
that's
should
what I'm
Hmm.
yeah,
thinking. Did he
yeah,
hold on to the one he had
yeah.
from
But I'm
a
not
few years
sure that
before?
old charge is applicable like it
Statute
happened.
of limitations.
Yeah.
That statute of limitations.
They said they didn't
They prob
care. Like, they're like, "We all vote, you're like, she gotta go. Okay, everybody, okay, oh, yeah, she gotta go."
Mhm.
And she went hard.
And then when they come back and Richelieu is like, D'Artagnan, you're going to jail because you did
Yeah,
this
you didn't
and
have
did it. And
authority to do that.
D'Artagnan is like, try again.
Yeah, I got this letter with your name on it. Didn't you write that? And
You
he
wrote
was,
that.
"Oh, shit." Let me put that back.
I really I
Yeah,
like
I
that because
like
it's like a
that.
reverse. It's a reverse
Yes.
card, like
Yeah.
I
Uno
like
reverse card
that
on him.
the part with the letters going back and forth, and, I just
Mhm.
like that whole
And it was
orchestration.
very interesting to me. However, they did mail back then, it moves faster than
I love that.
USPS because they got shit notified from them in a couple of days and a whole different like this letter is going from France to Milady in
With the wax
England to tell
seal.
her to go do this and then bring your ass here in time for you to be here for this ball that I have arranged to happen. And all of those things are in play. Like she's on the boat, stuck in the water when
Yep.
D'Artagnan is coming back from England. So it's like how fast the Pony Express is what popped in my head because
Ah,
Mel sure enough is traveling faster on horse and horseman than it is
look,
on US.
look, that but see, that's the romantic side of the story for me, is
Yeah,
this idea of
Mm.
sending the letters back and forth with seals on them, so you can't really open the letter, without somebody knowing that you've actually broken the seal or whatever. I just
and
think
I
all that
love
is
that.
really
The
cool.
drama
Yeah.
of the seal is always going to be a win for me.
Yeah, yeah,
Always.
definitely. That's one of the things that I really like about this, but that's like 17th, 18th century. I mean, come on, you gotta have a good letter with a wax seal on it.
Right.
Otherwise,
Because I'm trying to get that
what you
life back.
doing? Yeah. Um, I have some questions.
I do I one thing I did notice, like, throughout the novel, is how, especially with the men and the women, I felt like the men really had power, just like, did y'all feel like it was balance-wise compared to, some of the women? But I felt like even with
You mean
that,
the power balance between which one had more power, the men or the women,
yeah.
or was it balanced?
But I felt like Milady in the end was like she was like a strong character.
Well,
I think,
I feel like a lot of women at this time have power, but it's in a different way.
and I
Mm,
think that's
It's
the beauty of this
manipulative.
being penned by a man during
mm,
this time
Yeah,
frame.
exactly. So
Because
they know.
a lot of literature that you will see, or excuse me, let me not say you, that I have seen from this time frame is not focusing on women, like other than the woman being a housewife or a mother
Mhm.
and going through the birth of a child and then raising a child, and maybe the husband dies. You got to figure out who else you're going to marry so that you can continue to live life and not be poor and destitute. Um, to see these women who have this power, and that was something that I said before we started about the how the extramarital affairs that were taking place at the hands of women. You
Yeah.
didn't see, and
mm.
not to say that there were no men, of course there were men are men, but also that sounded really really bad, but those who y'all just whatever, y'all know what the fuck
No,
I
but
mean.
women have
But
had power. It's just not. It's not obvious power,
right,
Mm.
right,
but they do have it, and
right,
when they know who they can use it with, they sure
they
do
use it.
to get what they need
Yep.
when they need it. So I feel like is it comparable to the same thing as the power of a man? Well, probably not exactly because men have the physical power along with the regular power that they're given because they're men, and women don't have such physical power, but they do have this manipulative power of using their feminine wiles
Mhm.
to get men to do stuff, as we
And
saw what happened to
Yeah,
Felton.
and
Okay.
even that
that's
part where
one
she's like
thing.
she exposed like she did she what was it when she was trying to seduce
She
him
just
and
exposed her
yeah,
shoulder. She gave him a little
her shoulder
shoulder
blade.
Yeah, that,
and
and then she was like acting like she was, oh, like she had fallen
I'm
back on the
swooning, I'm
sofa, and
fainting. I'm
yeah,
so fragile.
she was doing the most, okay, and he was buying it all
Hook,
of it.
line, and sinker.
Hook,
And
line,
that's I tell you, one thing that my grandmother, my mom's mom used to say that every time I've come across a character like this or a human like this, because I met some humans who are just as fucking conniving, is that the smartest man is no match for the dumbest conniving woman.
Mm,
And
mhm,
that is like in seeing Milady with as just look at Athos. Like Athos was a count. He had all of this, power and all of
yeah,
these things that he was aware of, and he still got. He still got, pulled in by her and all of the people that she charmed, seduced, manipulated along the way.
all
Is
along the way,
and some of them to death. Felton, you got this man to kill for you, and you did nothing to his Peter.
yeah, because she's only out for herself, so whatever she's
Yes.
got to do to get through it, if it means I have to kill someone. Well, she already poisoned that other guy. Got poisoned. He drank the poison wine earlier on. So she the one that got the little ring, and she just goes,
Yeah, and that's how she poisoned Constance
and then
when
all of
she
a sudden you
and
got like,
thinking to herself, "This isn't how I wanted to get my revenge."
this isn't
And
good
can we
enough.
talk
That's
about
when you see
how I wanted to smack D'Artagnan when he came clean to her? I wanted to smack him six
yeah, when he
times.
said,
You
"Oh, what maybe
dummy!
she shouldn't
You
go out like this." I
dummy.
was like, "Are you mad? Of course she should go out like that. She's crazy."
Pam says on here, I love the Winter's reaction to all her theatrics.
Yes,
I thought that
Yeah,
was funny too.
that was hilarious.
yeah.
That was hilarious.
But you have to admit, Felton sawing the bars off the window, pulling her through, having her grip onto him as they're going down, girl, waiting in midair for the change of the guard to go by. And
Yep.
I'm like, Felt, you're doing the most and you're about to die. You're about to
And
die.
then once he gets there and he sees that the boat is gone and he asks what time it is, and I'm like, did you like the fact that you really thought this chick was gave a kitty? She never told him in any way, shape, or form that she was interested in him at all, and he was just putty in her hand.
Yeah.
The part where the Winter gets to Birmingham, Buckingham,
Buckingham.
I was like, oh, he's not gonna do it. And then when he stabbed him, I was like, oh, he's gonna make it, but he didn't. I was like,
And
this
I
is
was like, "Well, how big
wow.
was this knife?"
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to understand how this knife could glance off of whatever garter, garment she had
Mm.
on and go between her ribs in your body, in your upper body, and you're not dying.
Yeah,
Yet
because
also deep
I
enough
feel
to
like the way that
stab.
was described, Tatiana, though, I feel like it's not really I feel like it's in her diaphragm area.
But that impacts your breathing. Like in your diaphragm
I
area,
I
your lungs
agree.
are right. Your lung, like your
Well,
diaphragm,
you're
your
not really
lungs are right here.
yeah, I feel like because when it said because I think it does say state that it's in between her ribs or something. I mean,
Yeah.
it could be possible, but it's like,
I don't want to try it to find out, but I'm just
no,
like,
but I
this
feel like it's a
knife
real
was
random thing.
not deep enough. It
I
didn't stab
suspended
her
my
deep enough
disbelief. I was
to
like, okay,
kill
sure, she
her.
survived.
But yeah,
Yeah,
but
she's bad. She's
I
got
the
to
was like,
be.
rest
she's
of
okay.
them is dead. And I'm like, hello?
I was like, she got
Hello.
9 lives at this point, so I'm sure she'll live.
Right?
Oh, Pam Pam said, I wonder if Dumas based that escape a little on Mary Queen of Scots. Because she
That's a good
apparently did the
question.
same thing.
That's a good
Caught
question,
off
and I couldn't
guard.
thank you, Pam Pam, because I couldn't remember. I knew
Going,
that there was another similar escape in
yeah,
actual history, and I couldn't
yeah.
remember who it was, so thank you, Pam Pam.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's really good. So that's the kind of stuff that I really think is cool, is when you can pinpoint, a real historical event, and we're seeing it in the novel. Um, okay, so what did y'all think of King Louis? What kind of character you think he had? Because we don't see him that much. I think we
Mhm.
see him more in the beginning of the novel. Do you think he is a match for the Cardinal Richelieu or not?
Hell no.
No.
No. He's the car as much as he and the Cardinals seem to be at, like, opposite ends as far as, like, we have to work together, but I'm not your friend. He
Yeah,
also is included in the machinations of what the Cardinal is doing, and he has
yeah,
no idea. So, no.
yeah, exactly. He's no match for the Richelieu. Like,
Yeah,
he
like,
is not moving those checker pieces. Let's just put
yeah,
it
no,
that way.
like you mentioned earlier at the start of this, they had a hold on basically everything, the church,
Yeah, they
so
did. The the the
yeah.
the the church was a big damn deal, like a big damn deal.
And I
Well,
found it interesting that Notre Dame is only mentioned once
yeah, I noticed that too. Yeah.
with the
Only
war, something
yeah,
from the war being hung when they conquered, La Rochelle.
yeah.
That the banner from that being hung in Notre Dame. And then I'm like, how many other banners did they steal and hang in? Like all of this shit that I would really like to research
Mm,
because we all know Notre Dame went up in flames a few years ago,
yeah.
so those banners are probably gone. But
But I wish I would have tracked all these places, because let me tell you, they literally did all of
the
France.
whole of France.
I'm not kidding you. And they did a whole bunch of places in Normandy, in the north. La Rochelle is in the west, so off the Atlantic Ocean. Then they went down south. They was going all over the place.
The Swiss man, the Switzer. Is
Yeah,
that
a lot of
even
Swiss players
appropriate
over
to
the
say
place.
these days? But the man from Switzerland, like that's the only time that we get any indication that any
Yeah,
portion of this war that's happening extends beyond France and
France.
England.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And there was
Which
a
I
little
thought
bit of
was very interesting. And you only get that he's there and he enters in. Can we talk about Army's betting problem, please? Because everything that happens at the whim of Army is because of a bet.
Mhm.
He just likes to
Well,
bet.
I
How have we
mean,
not learned
oh
and betting
boy,
shit that don't belong to him?
he loves the gambling thing.
I'm telling you, and he has nothing. He
That's why
has
he got nothing.
no, he has nothing. So when I don't have, that's like me going to the slots and like, let me get this on credit for Michael's camera.
Let me try to get this little bit of money here. Yeah. Let me
And
try to
they
get this
say
little bit of
yes.
money. And but that's how he rolls. It's kind of weird.
It's
No pun
very
intended.
weird.
That's how he rolls.
It's
No pun.
very weird. But yeah, and then some of the like the where the one for all and
Mm.
all for one and one for all is said, like that whole exchange. Some of the exchanges going back to
They're hilarious.
the comedy part of it were so stooge like.
Hmm.
Oh, screw yeah, I can see
Yeah,
that.
I was like, this is hilarious. And
It's
like
very
y'all
funny.
really have no idea what was going on. Like Porthos was completely oblivious to what was
Yeah,
being discussed.
I think they're done really well. I like it when when they write what the person is thinking. It's like it's
And
funny.
they put it in quotation marks as opposed to italics.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like and a lot of it was very, very funny.
Mhm.
Right from the very beginning with what's his name? The one who um la 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 what's his name? Treville.
Yes.
He would always have some side comments going on.
But it was so the relationship, like it's the King's Musketeers, but really it's Trevilla's
Treville
Musketeers.
is the one that
Mm.
like runs it. Yeah.
Yeah, because he's running everything and the relationship that he even has with the three, the three
Yeah,
that
he
we
trusts them.
come to know. Like they don't have a this is my boss relationship.
No.
Mm.
He trusts them, and he
Yeah.
like, see, that's another thing in the book is honor.
Yes.
Honor is a big thing, like, um, like, who the thing is, we would have to say who is the most honorable in the book?
Oh.
Athos. He can get it. I'm
Uh,
sorry.
Uh,
I absolutely adore Athos.
I think they all are very honorable, because they do a lot of things that like, they go and they do a lot of things, and they have no idea what
What
that's
the
gonna
outcome's
bring
gonna
them,
be.
and they still do it because they wanna help D'Artagnan. So I feel like they all have a place in the honorable section. Um,
But you asked who the most was.
yeah, the most. I think they all are the most, because 'cause
I maybe
they're special musketeers now.
I'm
They
saying
got our
Athos. I'm saying Athos because at the one time that Athos becomes this conniving, vengeful person, it's not without cause. Like it's for him
Mhm,
to get
mm.
justice that is due to him.
yeah,
So that's why I'm saying Athos. I like really enjoyed how cunning D'Artagnan was in
yeah,
understanding, like, or figuring out really quickly how
yeah,
things work in the area that he was in. He really figured out what side to be on, and who to make acquaintances with really early in the story. But I don't know. It's something. I think that he was virtuous, but I don't think that he was the most honorable. Also, his this whole the whole Kitty and Milady, like he was obsessed with Milady, and
mhm.
He even
no,
disguised himself.
he just speak on it, Michael. Speak on it.
Yeah, he
I was like,
did.
you.
I'm agreeing. I am fucking
He did,
agreeing.
he disguised himself, you're correct.
I
Yes,
was like, is that even consensual? I was like, I don't know
Yeah,
what's going on here.
exactly.
Like, this is okay.
it's not okay. And then you come clean at the dumbest time. Like whoever told you, and that again goes along with his impetuousness. Like when he's
Mhm.
running out, when Trevilla's gonna give him this paper to take to his cousin to serve on his cousin's
Yeah,
guard as someone with favor. He runs out before he even gets the paper. Like,
yeah.
can we handle where we are before you
He's very
go?
impetuous, yeah.
Very impetuous.
Very impetuous.
And it continuously works. Like he almost does the same damn thing when they're going after Bonasir.
Yeah, I agree.
And he wants to chase him, and they're like, dude, he's going in the other direction.
Hmm.
Can you focus on where we're going, and then you can meet up with him?
Yeah,
I think the
I
most
totally agree
honorable
with
are the
that.
servants.
I
They I was like, y'all
They
just following
were
everything.
yo, the servants were hilarious, and that's
They
another
were.
thing I liked about Athos, how when he was on the like trying to find Milady and had devised this whole plan, he had observed and picked out everything that would have benefited him for what the servants were able to the services that the servants were able to perform.
Yeah,
This one is
perform.
good at this, so you go here. This one's good at this. Planchette just so happens to be the one who's with the youngest and newest person, and he's also the smartest. And I
Yeah.
need to go back because I don't remember how Dumont ended up getting hooked up with Planchette, but I know the benefit of Planchette was that he was a Picard, whatever that means.
I
Awesome.
like the way they were trying to decide which one of the servants were going to do that 8 hour trip,
Oh yeah.
deliver the thing. They're like, this is the deal. We need the one. And it was, I think it was Atos that came up with the idea. No, we
Yep.
want the one
Yep.
who cares the least about money or something like
Yep.
that. And it's
And
not,
they were
yeah,
the blind devotion.
yeah.
The blind
You have to
devotion.
go there and come back within 8 hours. You come back 8 hours and 50 minutes or 20 minutes, you don't get your money.
Right.
Charlie ran.
And they didn't take the money. Like even the executioner.
Yeah.
Do you know the
Mm.
way that I wanted to jump through the pages in this book to
And
go and
I
get
said,
the
like, wait, so
gold
you
pouch
just
that he threw in the pond in the lake?
he said I
Mhm.
got paid, but I didn't use it.
Now you know that
Yeah,
I'm
you put
doing
that
this
money
for
in the
honor
lake.
and not for or duty and
He's
not
the
or
most
something
honorable
like
one.
that.
He's the one.
And throws the
He
money
beheaded that bitch and put her body and her head in his cape
away in his
and
cape
dropped that in the
and
middle of
jumped
the
her ass
lake.
in the
I thought that was a interesting note when it mentioned on there that she died like that. She
Especially
fell on
since he
her
was
knees.
wearing a red cape.
Mhm.
Mm.
Yeah,
I was like,
the falling on her knees, because I was literally like, if this bitch gets away, I'm gonna have to go back in time and bitch slap Dumas.
Mhm.
I thought she was gonna get
I
away
thought she
because
was gonna get
the
away.
reason why I say
Yeah,
that is because if there are sequels, I'm like, who's the villain then?
different story.
Oh,
You
different
need to
stuff.
watch The Man in the Iron Mask.
Different story. Yeah, the Man in the Iron Mask. That one has
You
got
need
to be
to
good.
watch. That is
I mean, I've
probably the
seen the
longest
movie.
movie I
Have you
have
seen the
watched
movie?
over and over.
You've seen the movie, right?
I've seen no adaptation of the Three Musketeers.
No,
No,
but
The Man in the
the
Iron
Man
Mask.
in the Iron
Oh
Mask.
no, I haven't seen any.
You haven't seen that? Oh my God, it's
No.
so good.
So good.
That one is
It's
really
literally the only
my lip
Leonardo
was sealed
DiCaprio
on that
movie
one.
that I give props to Leonardo DiCaprio. Like
No,
he's cool as an actor, but he's not somebody that I just he's so amazing.
Yeah.
Except for in The Man in the Iron Mask.
No,
mm,
definitely. That's probably what I will definitely read next
Yeah.
because that's a good story right there. So, what do
And
y'all
that's
think
why when
about
you asked
Penny?
about Louis, because in my mind I'm like, is this the same? Is this Louis the same Louis from The Man in the Iron Mask? Because I
It
don't
depends.
recall the
I
Louis
don't
in The
know. I
Man in
don't
the
know
Iron
what
Mask being
a
married.
timeline is for that one.
Wait, say that again.
I don't know what the timeline is for that one.
Me either. Me either. And
yes.
since all they did was change your number, you could have been any Louis, and Henry could have
Oh
been
yeah,
any.
well, when you go from 13 to 14, it's a big change. Let's just put it that way.
Okay.
Big change, okay? Louis
Okay.
the 14th was the big fucking deal.
Okay. Got
That
you.
was the
Got
one you Soleil. He was the one with the class. He loved the, architecture and
Pam
and
Pam says
art.
Pam
Yeah,
Pam says
Louis
they have the
14th was
feeling
rough.
it's the next Louis. So
It was
so you think the Man in the Iron Mask is Louis the ninth?
possibly. I'm not sure. I'm gonna see if I can find out
Because this
though.
is
The
Louis the
Sun
Eighth,
King?
right? Or is it Henry the Eighth? I'm so confused with the motherfucking numbers.
Man.
Oh,
Louis is Louis the Eighth. No,
Louis.
it's Louis the 13th. So this
Oh,
is so you
hang
think
on. Okay.
yeah, so
Here
Pam
we
so
go.
the next one, the Man in the Iron Mask
Yeah,
is
Louis
the
the
13th.
14th is the Sun King. You're correct,
Okay.
Pam Pam.
Okay. So what is it, Henry the Eighth? Where am I getting the eighth from?
No, no, no. No,
Where the fuck am I getting the eighth from?
Again, I am from the American
Man in the Iron
educational
Mask.
system. I know nothing about that.
Man in the Iron Mask. Oh no, it's Louis the 14th.
Okay, so
It
yeah.
says, in the concluding installment of Alexandre Dumas' celebrated cycle of the Three Musketeers, D'Artagnan remains in the service of the corrupt king Louis the 14th.
Okay.
After the Three Musketeers have retired. Okay, blah blah
So I
blah.
wonder, yeah. Now that I did know that the Man in the Iron Mask was the getting the band back together situation. That's where we. That's. I got. I'm
Yeah, you
sorry.
see,
I'm sorry. I
Said it. Pam said Henry VIII liked killing people, especially his wives.
right, right. Is Henry VIII the one who created the whole new religion so that he could keep marrying bitches and not kill them?
Yeah, I
Okay,
think that was him. Yeah.
okay. I
So
don't know why that kept popping in my head. I don't.
in
I
the
don't.
next one, it'll be Louis the 14th, different
Okay.
king. So that should be interesting. So what
And I
did you
also
guys think
need to.
about the epilogue? Like what
Oh,
happened to everybody? Did you find any of that interesting?
I didn't give a fuck about Bonaso because he can kiss my ass. Um, I did not care about him. I knew that Army, and again, this gets to the retiring of the Musketeers because Army goes into our Aram. I can't do this. Aramis goes
Arami? Yeah.
goes into the clergy, and I like that he finally got there, and Bazin
Hmm.
got the role that he
Yeah.
wanted in the church. And I guess that means that after, like, once he's gotten that role, maybe he's no longer a lackey.
Yeah, probably not. I liked how Athos remains a musketeer under D'Artagnan's
And that's
command.
the
mm.
friendship. Like, that's the friendship. It's so pretty.
So
It's
cool. Yeah.
so amazing.
That's a bro moment. That's a bro
Yes.
moment.
Yes. That's like you are in this position and you're gonna need somebody to have your back, and I got your back. Like
And Grimaud follows Athos, which is really cool.
Grimond.
Gr-
Grimaud, Grimaud.
It's weird that like the last two paragraphs is about Monsieur Bonacieux. Like
And that's why I said
that's
I
like,
didn't give
Yeah,
a
oh,
and
fuck
he's
about
still a dirty dog. That her old ass husband.
he just disappeared.
Yeah,
It's like, oh,
he
okay.
He didn't
disappears, but everybody
disappear.
suspects he's living a
He
high
did
life.
not disappear. The cardinal had him abducted or killed. He did
Mm.
not
Either
just
abducted
Well,
or
disappear.
he
killed, or he's living a high life somewhere. But I don't think anybody really cares about his wife missing,
He
except
don't
for
care. The
D'Artagnan.
only like why did he make such a funk about her being kidnapped? And also, can we talk about the fact that she was a whole ass spy and we get to the end of this book and she can't even keep her fucking wits about herself. Like her
Yeah,
now, granted, I don't
you know
expect
what? But I think living in a nunnery really does you in.
she wasn't there long. Like, come on. She wasn't there long. And she's another one that
You
in
been to a
a
nunnery?
day,
You know what they
in
make them
one
young girls do? They make them eat soup with like one piece of celery floating in it, and then they make them pray all damn day long
okay, now you
and
sounded like it's a fucking
garden
charge.
and
Hold up. Hold up. Hold up.
wait, what? He made it sound like what?
A cult.
Oh,
I mean, just boring as hell up in
I
there.
just I like that bothered me to no end that and in a day, like where is your constitution? In the matter
Well,
of a
you know what?
day.
I actually am not too surprised by this because when we see her before, I think that's one of the reasons why she winds up being a whole ass spy is because of her naivete when she presents herself and she looks like she don't know shit. That's how she could
But
move like
who
that.
you mean, Milady or Constance?
Constance.
But no, I'm talking about Constance getting taken in less than a day by Milady.
I'm not surprised by that. I feel like that's because of her being stuck in that damn convent too long. All that
I was
watery
so
soup she
upset.
had to drink is going to her head.
I was so upset. I was legit
I
like,
was laughing, but I
why
mean,
why are you so weak in the knees because you hear horses? Like nobody has a car.
yeah, but it's
Horses are normal.
that is like a car.
Mm.
Okay.
Right, but I'm saying, but
Prob-
horses are normal. Everybody who is going somewhere is on a fucking horse.
No,
So
but it's
why?
because of what she said. What Milady said is what made her think, "Oh my God,
He's
it
here.
could be." Yeah,
Because she
that's
before they
But
have
she
when they have
seems
that conversation,
so.
she's like, "Oh, make sure
Yeah.
he's gonna come
yeah.
here."
It just made me so mad.
Yeah.
It made me so mad because
I mean,
she didn't have to die, but also I don't think that if she lived, we would have Lieutenant D'Artagnan. So,
yeah.
but she didn't
I
have
thought she
like
was gonna
in
live, y'all. I really thought
I
she
I
was
thought
gonna
really
she
live.
was
thought she
gonna
was
live
gonna live too,
too.
but then I was like, "Oh, here old girl come with her ring with
With
the
her
hole in it."
ring, uncapping her
Yeah,
ring,
I
I'm
all
like,
hail
really thought.
"That's what
Hydra,
which
dumping
one
that
is
shit
it?"
in the fucking wine and then shoving it down her throat. Did
Exactly.
anybody ever teach you about self-preservation? You do not take drinks from strangers. That's why the first thing
But
Athos asks when
she
they
let
come
her
in the
guard
room,
down. She
who
let her
poured the
guard down.
wine?
She totally, and I think also because of the environment that they're in. Keep in mind, she's been there on her own with the nuns for a while.
Mm.
So when this young woman shows up, that's how
I
she
don't
kind
think
of
it's been
gets.
more than a couple of months.
That's a lot. That's a long time.
Is it?
Yes.
Yes. Oh my
Look,
god.
for one
I
week,
was
and
quarantined for
Open your
14 days, and that was
you
long.
out there
Okay,
having to pray
I was quarantined.
day and night. You ain't taking no bath. They're making you do gardening. They're practically about to ready to give you self-flagellation. Let's see how long you last up in there before we drop somebody, a sister
Ain't
that
no
comes in and looks like you, and you go, "Oh, thank God, I'm not here by myself anymore."
ain't no
That's
man
why.
around.
I'm thinking
That's why.
maybe you're right. Like 2 months doesn't seem like a long time
Oh
to me.
no, that
It's
is.
not for nothing, and them girls don't want to go in no damn nunnery. They know what that shit is like. That ain't fun. That ain't cute.
How did she get the letter to D'Artagnan to say, "I'll be passing by on this way. Don't say nothing, but come look at me"?
I
Wait,
don't know how. Maybe they just sent it directly there.
But they let her sit like she was still a prisoner in the cardinal's
They were
care.
they were keeping her there so the cardinal couldn't find her. He
Right? No,
didn't
no, no, no.
know.
But this is before she went to Bethune, when she was on her way to whomever had like before there was something that happened where she was on that carriage ride where she had gotten a letter to D'Artagnan saying, "I'll be passing through this way."
Oh, yeah, that's earlier on.
That's before, yeah, that's before they transfer her to Bethune.
Yeah. I don't know how she got that letter because there's a lot of letter crossing here that
Yeah,
is not clear.
yeah.
Who is giving what? Well, in the beginning, it was kind of more evident who was giving what letter
yeah,
to who
it
and who wrote it.
it kind of
And
has
then
that.
it became complex.
It kind of had. It's like convenient storytelling. Like okay,
Mhm.
Yeah.
again, like I said, I just suspend my disbelief at one point. I was like, okay, sure, y'all traveling through France
Yeah,
on
but
a
that's
horse.
what
Like,
they said that there are some there's some discrepancies
Yeah, that's
in
what's
the
in the
storytelling.
translator's note,
But
and
I
that's
just think
less
that's
so.
just when you write a long ass story with a lot of damn characters, you get that stuff mixed up.
And
mm,
you're not even just you write a long ass story with a lot of damn characters over a period of time because this is
time.
something that was released in serial form in a
Yeah,
newspaper.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
So not
This
like
is
I'm
and
wondering which
probably
chapters that are broken up are the
it was the
segments
same
that
with the
were
count had some discrepancies in it as well.
yeah,
Yeah,
that is true.
So,
yeah.
but I mean, does it make
So
you
did the
like it
Black
less?
Tulip.
No.
Yeah,
Does it make you like it less?
No.
You still like it. Now, this is a question. Why do you think this book is still loved today as much as it is?
Because
Why do
it's
you think?
amazing. Because it's amazing. The writing is great. The descriptions, I have never been to France and with no experience of what the area looks like, the descriptions, especially what the area looked like centuries ago. The
Mhm, mhm.
descriptions that are provided are very detailed so that you can see where you are
Yeah,
or where the characters are as you're reading the story. It's very atmospheric. The friendships are beautiful and they are even in what you would think would be a difficult situation for them to deal with, they come together and they make that happen. They make
Mhm.
whatever needs to happen be done, and they maintain their friendship
Absolutely.
regardless. From sugar to shit, they maintain
Yeah.
their friendship, and that's not so. It's a very endearing story. It's a very endearing, atmospheric, well written, well put together. Because
Yeah.
whomever came after, like, I don't know if Dumas was alive at the point where it was determined, let's take this serial situation
Yeah.
and do this to it. So
Yeah.
whoever put it together took the care to keep all of that
Yeah.
together. And it doesn't die. Like, we are all today, when people complain about books that they're reading or books that they're looking for, they want books with strong friendships. Be them male
Yeah, this
male
is
friendships,
definitely one
female
for that. I
female,
mean,
male female. They're looking for strong friendships. This entire book is an endearing, long suffering,
yeah.
long lasting friendship.
And it's like real good friendship. It's not like when you read other friendship books today, you'll have the friends together and then one will betray the other one,
Right. Or
you
one will
know.
die.
Yeah, and it's
And then
like,
the other half
oh,
of the book is the friend figuring out how to live life without their best friend.
I mean, there
yeah,
was that moment when
exactly.
they were about to drink the wine, and I was like,
I was
Yeah,
scared.
"Y'all are
I was
close.
scared.
Y'all are
I
really
was
close."
scared when
yes.
they would get ready to drink the wine at that dinner. I was terrified.
Well, every time they were drinking anything or eating anything, I was like, oh shit, somebody's gonna drop.
And they kept and
Because you know
D'Artagnan
why that is? Because
refusal.
I think
Why,
it's like
Mike?
one of those like mind things where women poison. Like that's the way that
That was a big
they
way of killing
kill.
people
Yeah,
back then. Was
I
it
was like,
Men
poison?
men kill outright, women kill by sneaking, and the sneaking
yeah,
is
Yes,
people
yes,
because
are dead.
there was
That's
like even that position for the king, like the taste tester.
yeah,
yeah,
I was like,
absolutely. That
oh,
was a thing.
but
yeah,
That
also
was
like the book is just fun.
yes.
It's fun.
yeah,
Like
it's a fun
you
book.
don't really have to think.
No,
It's just fun. Like
And I will
it's
tell you,
enjoyable.
the way that when you put in the initial post that you made about this, that if you read 23 pages a day, you will finish the book in a
Mhm.
month. That's literally how I started. Because I've said before, it can take a couple
Yeah.
pages or chapters for me to get into a story. And so I literally started with just get through 23 pages, and it took 2 days. Once I got to page 46, we were good to go.
mm,
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. I just think in the
Yeah.
beginning, you have to read and kind of get used to the flow of the
Yep.
language. And
Hmm.
then I would say once you hit page 30 or 40, it starts to really flow and you're like, okay, I got this now. I think that's the only thing that maybe people are hesitant about is reading books that are in the 17th, 18th, 19th century because of the language. But
and
I
it's
feel like
huge.
it ain't nothing but a thing. I mean,
It's nothing but a thing, and you have to have a good translator. So kudos and hat tip
yeah,
to Michael
yeah,
for even
this one.
'cause I don't read translated fiction. So Michael stating that Richard Previer
Yes,
was one of your favorite in
his wife is a good
translators.
translator too.
Yeah, because they do all
Yeah,
those
they
ancient novels too.
yeah,
The
it,
Ru-
it
oh,
made me rethink. Like, I
it's so
have
good.
two other editions of this. I have two other editions of this.
Mm.
I didn't need to buy this, but when I heard that from Michael, I was like, okay,
Yeah, no, this is a good addition. And I mean,
because
if
the
you like
translator
us,
makes a difference.
French flaps,
And
deckled
decollete
edges.
edges, like the French
And
flaps was a beautiful
also
touch.
the cover and like the comic book strip,
Yeah, and it's got all the
it
characters on
it
the
has
inside, on the
it
French
kind of
flap.
sets the tone. Like this is like it's just like a funny
It's
book.
not what you would expect
That
from Dumas
It's
if
still have
you read it. What is that
oh,
stamp?
is that no? That's you get
Shakespeare and
that from
Co.
yeah. It's a stamp you get from
Shakespeare
Shakespeare.
and
Like
Co.
it's a
bookmark.
special stamp. You know.
So if I ever come there, we just need a
You
whole
should
day.
definitely get your book stamped if you come to
Yeah,
Paris
we just need
to
a whole
Shakespeare
day.
and
That's
Co.
It
and
just
get
says I went to
full
Paris.
bookmarks, which are very different every time you go in.
I'm jealous of the stamp. I'm legit of everything else. I love the book. Thank
Yeah,
you,
it's
Michael, again because you gave me the link for this.
a great book.
I want that fucking
Hmm?
stamp.
I'll
Yeah.
be back.
Oh, okay, okay. Pam says she found or they, I don't know what your pronouns are, sorry, hon. Managed to find the audio that goes along with this translation.
Yes,
And
there
that's
is one.
also, yeah, that's hard to do because I remember
Let
when
me
we
see if
read,
if I have it. I have it on mine. Let me just see if I can, if I have it. I have it on mine. Let me see if I can find it. I have it on mine. Let me see if I can find it. I have it on mine. Let me just see if I can find it. I have it on mine. Let me just see.
Rosa says timeless elements, love,
It's this
revenge,
one.
friendship, bravery. Okay.
It's
Yeah,
it's
'cause
written
even
on it.
when we read The Count of Monte Cristo, I had a different translation on the
Yeah, they didn't have
audiobook.
one exactly to my edition because I had that penguin cloth bound edition
Mhm.
for the count, there I couldn't find one that's exactly like it. But to go with this one, it's this one. It's written on it, Penguin Classics, Alexandre Dumas, The Three Musketeers. I'm going to put it here in case anybody comes and wants to know. It's this one. This is the one that it goes word for word with this one. But the audio, when I did listen to it, was excellent. The guy he does the different voices for all of
Yeah, I think
it.
Pam said that earlier too,
Really,
that the
really good.
narrator did the different voices perfectly.
Okay, Rosa said timeless elements, love, revenge, and friendship.
And
What more
bravery.
can you ask for a good book?
Yep.
And she put bravery.
Yep. And more, what more can you ask for an adventure story?
Yeah. Really, really good. Has anybody got any questions in the comments? Just
Yeah. I'm
drop
gonna
it.
go back up to see if we missed anything. Which I'm
Have you
sure
guys
we did.
can you think of anything you guys want to talk about that we haven't talked about?
I feel like we covered a lot.
Yeah.
It was actually really good that we did the halfway point
Yeah.
because I
It's a
just thought
big
that,
book.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sadly, I cannot announce what's going to be for October. I'm still on the hunt.
Mm.
Mhm.
Not
So
sadly.
I'll keep you
We got
posted on that.
time and it's fine. Yeah. We
Hopefully,
got time and it's
I'll have something for August. I'll know end of August. Okay. Pam Pam says, which historical elements are you interested in reading more on? That's
shit if I
interesting.
know, Pam.
I don't know. I like reading 19th century, 18th century. I haven't read a ton
And see, I
of
can't even
17th
say that
century.
because right now I like reading Dumas. Like Dumas is, I want to say,
Yeah, Dumas
the
is
only
really good.
author that I have read with at choice, not for
Yeah.
school,
No,
not
it's
for a
true.
requirement or something, by
But at the
choice.
moment, I'm reading 19th century because I'm reading Emile Zola with Anna. So we're going my cow series. So that's 19th century, and I'm finding
Only in French.
I have an affinity with 19th century though in general.
Yeah.
But
Is it
that one
only in
is it what?
Is it only in French?
No, it's translated
It's
in English.
translated? Okay.
Yeah, it's translated in English. So I'm enjoying that because it is 19th century and I can you get a whole historical thing there and I just like what's going on there. But I really liked what was going on in here. And this is set 17th century, even though he wrote it in 19th century. I still like it and would be more. You know what I would like to do a read of is another reader because I read it in college, but it's to read Les Liaisons Dangereuses.
The fuck is that?
Yes, Dangerous Liaison.
Yeah,
Oh,
Dangerous
I have that.
Liaison.
I have
That's
that.
really good because
Yeah.
it's epistolary. I love that book.
It is
What's so
It
great
was
about it
just like, what the fuck
amazing.
is
It is so
and
good.
Michael's like, I know what that is.
No, it is. Remember, because I read it for when we did.
Did you read it
Unforgivable
when we
Love.
did
Yes,
Unforgivable Love?
Yeah, because
yeah,
Unforgivable Love is nothing more than
And
a
Dangerous Liaison in the
retelling
with
of
Black
Liaison
Book and
Dangereux.
it's
Except
so
she
good.
doesn't do it in epistolary format. She just does it in a regular novel format.
Yeah,
But
Dangerous.
I do like this 18th century
Yeah. I
historical thing.
have I have Dangerous Liaisons. I just haven't read it yet. But I have not
You
read a
definitely read
lot
that.
of books set during that time. Like I have Dickens books. Have I read any Dickens?
Yeah, I've been reading Dickens.
Other than the Christmas Carol. Other than the Christmas Carol.
Oh yeah, you gotta read that. But I read
Read
this
that
year,
before.
David Copperfield. That book was so good. It's
Mm.
huge. I mean, it's like
But you
800
know what? I
pages,
can't remember. I
but
can't
it's
remember
fantastic.
What Dickens book I bought. But even buying it after now owning physically 4 Dumas books, that shit still looks fucking huge.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I can't
Dickens
even
is
remember which one I bought. I don't know if it was Bleak House I don't think it was David
Well,
Copperfield.
Bleak House is really big too.
Yeah, it may be Bleak House.
But so is Little Dorrit is really big.
It's not
David
that.
Copperfield is really big. But I feel like it's another prospect, another thing to read, from 19th century, if
Mm.
you are interested in that period. But I would be more interested in trying to discover more in the 18th century again. Um and 19th, because those are the two that I like. I mean, so I'm open to that. Like I wouldn't mind reading Flaubert again, reading Madame Bovary again, reading Le Rouge et le Noir, Stendhal. Um, yeah, that's 19th century. I would be cool to read all that.
I
Pam
love
says
read
she loves Dickens.
I love reading like Asian history. I like
Like,
that.
what would
Like
you
Al from
recommend?
Japan, from
What would you recommend?
Yeah, thank you.
Ooh.
Thank you.
Like me, what would you recommend? I'm a novice.
Come back to me on that because
I was gonna say that's not pachinko because that's recommended by everybody.
No,
no,
no. He talking about the real stuff.
Your face.
no.
You talking about the real stuff.
Like
Oh shit! I wasn't prepared.
I actually haven't read
I
Pachinko.
wasn't
I didn't watch
prepared
the.
for that.
I haven't
For that,
watched
like
Pachinko.
aspect.
I haven't watched Pachinko, so I don't know.
But
I haven't
did
watched
you?
it
I
or
thought
read
you
it.
read it. Oh,
No, I
okay.
didn't. Yeah, it's a. Apparently, it's really good though, but I don't know.
I hear it's really good too, but I want to read the book first. So,
I
Yeah.
but
thought
like,
you read
I
it.
don't.
Okay, then shit. Who am I? Who have I seen that's read pachinko? Then, if it's not, I mean,
Everybody in read Pachinko, as far as I'm
it's
concerned.
true.
Everybody except for me and Michael and you.
And Todd.
Yeah, y'all. We the only three hadn't read it because everybody else
I
has.
don't know.
Yeah.
Let's see.
But like, yeah, give me a when you have time, when you can think of something,
Yeah, it
Michael.
doesn't have to be
Mhm.
right now.
DM me something that that you say, oh, that you should definitely read.
Pam said, "Thank God, more people who haven't read pachinko."
Okay, all right. So
Okie dokie.
Pachinko, that's out. Oh, okay. Anna said I used to read Pearl Buck back in high
Who is
school.
that?
I haven't read any Pearl
Oh,
Buck. None.
I don't
yeah.
know who these people
I started
are.
that.
Pearl Buck is the Good Earth.
Yeah, I
Oh,
started.
okay.
I
Yeah,
got.
I hadn't
I
read
got.
that. So no, I'm
I
not.
I
I'm not.
read base. I think I think I read half of that.
The Good Earth.
Yeah,
And
but
what did you think?
I read half of it.
So you didn't like it, really?
I read half of it.
You didn't like it.
So you didn't like it. I
I
mean,
just didn't
that.
fin- the
When did you read that half, Michael?
Now granted I read it on vacation. So
Oh,
When?
hell
But
no. You
when?
were
But
on
when?
when I
vacation.
went to the
But
Philippines.
okay, so you haven't picked it. That was pre-COVID, and you haven't picked it back up.
Yeah, that was
Oh,
definitely
Good Earth is a
that was like
trilogy.
at the
That
start.
was you went to the Philippines in 2019 or 2018, right?
2020 2021. Yeah.
Not
2021?
last year. You didn't go last year.
Yeah. Wait,
Oh,
no,
You
yes,
went
you
2020.
last year?
did.
Yeah,
Yes,
it was
you did. I
while we
remember
were there,
all that.
actually the first case popped up like in China. So we were
Oh,
there
okay.
as literally as it started.
Okay.
So
Wow.
Why was I thinking
yeah,
that?
we're like, we'll be fine. We're like, oh, we'll be fine. I mean, it's fine.
It's hot up in this bitch.
Yeah, I can see.
Whew, child, it's hot.
And I'm sitting here with a blanket on because my fan for my air conditioner is right here.
I think the temperature is still hot right now, and it's 10 like
I was getting ready to say
10
you're
past
6 hours
o'clock.
ahead. So
It's like- um, Anna said it's poignant. It talks about the poverty in the countryside.
she's talking about the Good Earth trilogy.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Good Earth.
Who
Yeah.
is the Good Earth trilogy by?
What?
Who's the Good Earth trilogy by?
That's Pearl Buck.
Oh, okay. See, I don't know who the fuck that is.
Yeah, that's Pearl Buck.
Thank you, Anna.
No, I have not read any Pearl Bucks, so I don't know. But I don't know. What about you, Tatiana? Any historical things you're interested in reading particularly, or what?
Other than the Man in the Iron Mask,
Yeah, that
Not
I
off
that's
the top.
great.
Yeah, not off the top of my head. I'm actually really looking forward to just reading some shit that I really want to read. Like, I started All the Lights You Cannot See. We'll talk about that when I finish it. I had to go back and I got to recheck it out.
Mm-mm.
Um,
That was
but
like a no for me.
yeah, I told my dad. That's another conversation. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, other than that, I miss reading fantasy books. I am really looking forward to getting
True,
into
because
some
you
fantasy
haven't been talking about fantasy lately, and I
because
know that's a flag.
I've been doing book club and read along reads,
Yeah.
and the people that like I don't have any IRL people who read a lot of fantasy,
Mm.
so I miss reading my fantasy. So I need to jump back into. I'll probably jump back into John Glenn ASAP.
Okay, Pam Pam said, "Are you planning on
Yes.
looking at any of the real events mentioned in the book in this book?"
Yes, I am a huge Pam Pam. One of the things that I said a long time ago when I can't remember what we were reading, but that like historical fiction for me is if I had known that that was the cheat code for me to be able to remember historical fact, I would have read a lot more historical fiction when I was in school. So yeah, I will probably spend a lot of time on Wikipedia and Google when it's
Oh,
all
there
said
you
and
are,
done.
Pearl Buck. There
Oh,
I
you
you
found
do
it.
have ProBuck.
go.
Yeah.
Okay.
When it's all said and done, to look into some of the things that are particularly noted, like the people and the events that are particularly noted in this story, because that's another thing that Purveer did was he put annotations
Yeah.
in the book to let you know, so you can go to check the notes in the back about who this person was. And so that's what I'll be doing.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why it's really good to look back at those the um the notes at the back. That's why I almost prefer my notes to be at the bottom of the page. It's just so much easier.
Oh yeah, instead of going
So
back and
Michael,
forth.
is that a bind up of the whole trilogy or is that one
Oh
book
no, this
in
is
the
the
trilogy?
first book.
Okay.
Yeah, I bought it
Okay.
at a I bought it at a I was at airport. Yeah, I
I
don't think
need
I
to get
got.
the book that I just watched a video this morning about the drummer book. I need to get that.
Oh yeah, you need to get
No,
that.
it
I
is
talked to Terry
really
last
good.
weekend.
Yeah.
It was so
Oh,
good, and Christy
it's
and I had a great discussion with it for the
yeah. I
podcast.
still need to listen to that episode, but
Yeah, I
That
still need to
podcast
listen to.
episode isn't up
You
yet,
know what? You know what? Everybody steal this idea. I'm giving it to you. I am so behind on the Brown Girls Booking podcast because there are so many books that you all have talked about that I own either physically or on Kindle that I have not read. And I think that may be my 2023 reading challenge.
though. Oh wow,
mm,
okay.
Because that's gonna challenge me too to read the books that I fucking own. Because even when I'm reading books on my own shelf, I'm thinking physical shelf, not the 200 something books I have on my Kindle.
Oh,
So
your
it's
Kindle,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. So
yeah.
that may be my reading challenge
Let's
for
start
next
with a
year.
different drummer. It's
yeah. It's excellent that
it
Oh,
book.
a
is
different drummer may not even make it to next year because you
William
like the
Melvin
way you talked
Kelly
about that in your video. I was
is
like, I
fire.
need that now.
it is so
William
good.
Melvin Kelly is fire.
It's like
Okay,
it's so good. That's
Like,
all.
nobody talks about William Melvin Kelly. It's like the man just died recently.
It is.
I've never heard of him before.
He just
A
died in
lot of people have it. Yeah.
2017.
He
Wow.
that
He's
book is
the
incredible.
bomb.com.
It's one of the best debut novels you'll ever
So
read.
good. So
And it's
good.
a debut, so then basically I'll read that and then want to read everything else. Y'all always make me
It
spend.
made me I was like, "Oh my god, this like he
Yeah.
yeah, you will love it."
I'm
It's
definitely gonna read
it's
that Chick
satirical, but
collection.
it's so deep. Like it is incredible.
Okay.
It's as good as everybody says. It's like it's
No, it is.
incredible.
It's
It's
very,
really
very
good.
good. It's
It's very
and it's
good.
short. It's
Oh,
205
it's super
pages.
short.
Okay, well let's not talk about
Like,
short
who
books that
does
I
that?
shouldn't have a
Who
problem
writes an
reading.
excellent book like that in
Exactly. It is
205 pages?
so good.
So
And like
good.
the twists and the turns, because I'm like the whole
And I
time because
like as much as I love reading tomes, I do like reading like that's one of the things I love about Bernice McFadden is
mm,
that she writes such a complete story in less than 300 pages. As much as I love the details
Yeah.
in, in larger books, I do like reading, and I need to integrate more smaller books into my reading repertoire because my God,
Yeah.
the
Too
books
many
over
things.
450 pages
Children
that I have on my shelf.
reading. You got to really get that balance, because I think if you read too many well, I feel like if you're going to read the big books, they got to be really good. Like they got to be 4 stars and above. I feel like you don't waste your time reading like a 600 plus page book and it's like a 3-star. I feel like, ugh.
And see, to me, that's not wasting my time if I enjoy. Like, in order for me to give a tome 5 stars, that's probably if it ever happens, everybody needs to. I don't give a fuck what genre it is. Everybody needs to read it. Like everybody needs to read The Count of Monte Cristo.
Oh yeah, that's different though.
If I give 5
Little Monte
stars,
Cristo is like 5 stars, so there's no
yeah, but if I give 5 stars to a big ass book, because I'm
yeah,
literally reading a big ass book for the sole purpose of being on the journey. It's
yeah.
not even this has got to be an amazing book for me.
But it has to be more than it has to be 4 plus stars for me.
And if you read a big book and it's 4 stars for you, then I'm gonna fucking love it. It's probably gonna be 5 stars for me.
Yeah,
Because we don't have
but if I read a big ass book and it's 3 stars, like for example, I'll give you an example. The Knicks. I read The Knicks.
Oh, is that good?
Who is the Knicks by?
I thought it was 3 stars.
Oh,
That was real popular.
Yeah, I guess. But you know me, I'm weird.
You're not weird. You're not weird.
Oh, I'm weird. I mean, I wasn't like over the moon about that
From one
book.
weirdo to another.
Like,
You're not weird.
and then I was talking to D Sweet Darren, and Darren said, "Yeah, I wasn't in love with that one either." And he doesn't really say it that much, but he said, "Yeah, it was all right, but it wasn't,
I'm trying to tackle the booker now. So whatever books my
So
library
you're
has.
doing Ducks Newburyport, and you are like this far
Oh,
into it and like falling over it. You
well,
love it.
that's the thing. Like I can pause it because it's you can kind of pause it because it's doesn't really have a story. But
Yeah.
Are there no? Is that the book? There are like no chapters.
yeah, no, like it's just forever long.
Yeah, Ducks Newburyport is it's just a thought.
That may give me anxiety. I don't know.
No, you know what? I feel like it's the kind of thing you could listen to on audio.
That's what I was thinking. Maybe I should do it as an audio book.
Yeah, I think you could listen to it on audio really a lot easier, because when people look at it on paper, it could give anxiety.
And I need
like
I need chapter
it's
breaks.
all jammed on the page, and it's
Yeah.
just it's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
I need chapter breaks so that I may do the audio book of that.
Anyone else has anything else?
Yeah, if there's any questions, if there are no more questions, we're gonna let you guys go. Spend your afternoon.
Giving me the evil eye.
Mm.
Like she won shit.
Okay, so I don't see anything, so we're going to close this live.
Thank you all so much for joining us, for participating in the read along with us. There will be word on what the selection is for October
very soon
for Black History Month in the UK. So just keep an eye on Dee Dee's Instagram. I'll do all of your boosting. Keep an eye on Dee Dee's Instagram for that, and then also for those of you who are participating in the hashtag Read Solit Patriot Book Club.
Yeah.
Tomorrow is the discussion for The Joys of Motherhood.
The Joys of Motherhood.
I need to get Noria to pronounce this for me again.
Bushi, I think it's Bushi and Macheta.
The accent is not where I'm putting it in my head on a regular, but the discussion for that is tomorrow at the same time we start, right? 9 p.m.
tomorrow night.
Same time tomorrow.
Afternoon for you guys.
But on the Zoom link for the book club. So hopefully I'll see y'all tomorrow. I haven't finished it. I'm literally at the halfway point.
I have. Oh, look!
Hi,
Maya! Say hi.
How are you?
Hi,
how are you?
So cute, Maya.
Goodbye.
Okay, go.
She's so adorable.
She's gotten so big.
They're There's like 18 of them running around now.
Oh my God.
Oh
I
wow.
don't even
Look,
recognize
when
Mel anymore.
you posted your youngest niece calling you uncle, I almost cried.
Uncle.
I almost cried because it's like I've
Dude,
only heard my would be like, Uncle,
I know
Uncle.
they grow up so fast. They
that's the
really
one
do.
that's got the appetite like you, Michael.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
she loves to
Y'all
eat.
gonna y'all
We're
gonna be
actually
sister
ordering
buddies.
we're actually ordering food right now as we speak.
I just when I come, Michael, the next time I come to Atlanta, we
Yes,
have to meet up.
I'll make a trip up there.
Food.
Atlanta has an amazing food scene. Like it's
I know.
everything and everything you want. And
Yeah.
probably like some of the best food you'll ever eat. It's incredible up there.
Yeah. So thank you all so much.
Thanks so
All
much.
right.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Oh.
Doo-doo-doo.